You're listening to Double Time, your daily accessible technology show. Now, here's your hosts, Stephen Scott and Shaun Preece.
Happy Thursday, Shaun Preece.
Happy
Don't tell
double
me it's
Thursday
double
to
Thursday.
you.
Yes,
thank you. Hello, night managers out there. How are you doing?
I know. Who could care less? Hello, welcome along to another show. Fighting already. We're 6 seconds in.
That's a record for us. Well done.
I think it is. Listen, coming up today, great conversation with Kevin Chao. He's been on the show before. He was on talking. I'm trying to remember what he came on to talk about.
Who knows with us?
I know it could be anything, right? But, he was on before, and he's very excited about the whole Meta Ray-Bans thing. He's also been involved heavily in a number of events and getting involved and going to events around the world. Although I've got to say, Kevin's experience, and we'll hear about it today, and we'll maybe talk about this in detail a bit more another time. But sometimes you go to these events, and these are the only places you might get a chance to see some of the latest and greatest tech out there for blind people, right? And then you go along, and you have a bunch of tables with nothing on them, and just people standing behind those tables saying, yes, we've got the greatest tech ever known to humankind. But, you need to wait a couple of weeks to see it. Or, it's not ready yet. Or, it broke.
Coming soon seems to be the catchphrase here, yes.
And it's like, I think some of these tech companies have got to up their game a little bit. We're talking serious money in some cases here. And even if you're not spending, even if you're spending $10, if you go to a major event, CES is a bad example, but an event like that, essentially, where you're going along to see the tech. You're going to see the tech. You're not going to see a picture of it.
Yeah, that is kind of the point. The whole existence of events is to go hands-on.
Yeah.
We can read the website, we can read the descriptions, but we want to get hands-on with this stuff.
Yeah, so, I think tech companies up the game. We'll talk about this with Kevin's event that he was at. A very interesting event, mind you, but not a lot on display. He did, however, find out about some cool stuff, and he wants to share that with us today. And I really appreciate that, because people who are going to these events, reporting back on them, it's just great for us to learn about what's going on. There's one particular device that you're going to learn about today called the Pocket Dot, which I think is going to be a very interesting little device for us. Kind of takes the Hable up a gear, if I'm honest. We're talking here about, I don't want to preempt, but I am going to preempt because, I'm not very good at teasing. Teasing is to tell you the whole thing. But basically, it's a device which has an 8-cell braille display on it, and it attaches to your smartphone via MagSafe.
Yeah, you were really intrigued by this one. And
and it's got a keyboard as well. So it's got a keyboard and an 8-cell braille display, and it attaches via MagSafe to the back of your smartphone. Although clearly we're talking about iPhone here until Android start bringing in MagSafe.
Yeah.
But I think this is really cool. I think it's a really interesting idea. I know Braille screen input is very popular at the moment. iOS 18 has
Rightfully
the amazing new Braille screen input functionality. But there are a lot of people who still like the buttons, and ideally a little bit of a display on there.
A little bit of a display. 8
literally, yeah.
Cell displays. Oh, okay. Yeah,
anyway, we'll get to that because Kevin's joining us a bit later. And if you're at events around the world and you want to share what's going on, we can't get to everything or anything because neither of us leave the house very often. So, if you do get to an event and you want to share your experience, then please do, because, sharing is caring, I believe.
We need you, basically.
Yes, we need you. I'm pointing at the camera. You. There you go. I think I'm pointing at the camera. Okay, so let's get to some emails. Should we get to some emails? No, it's not that button. It's this one.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is terrible.
Email. We get email. We get your email every day. Here's your mail today.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Oh, you got to do it.
What if we're not singing anymore? I'm missing the singing. I know it's hard work for the edit, but I say we sing.
Okay, fine.
Let them sing.
Let them sing. Let them eat cake, I say. Right, let's get to some emails. Bryan is first up. He's not happy, I think, with me.
Oh.
Dear Shaun, Laura, tappers everywhere, and I guess Stephen too.
Ooh.
I doth protest. Stephen, the waffling is grand, and the ranting is kind of soothing, actually, but this fascination with manhandling as many keyboards as you can must come to an end. I have used the same keyboard for the last 15 years, and if I must say, that says a whole lot about devotion, dedication, commitment, and, most importantly, guardianship.
Cheap.
Although I know that I just cursed old Alicia, Yes, last name Keys. Alicia has a twin named Francis Scott, after the author of the Star-Spangled Banner, but he has lost some bounce in his keys. In fact, keeping him safe in a closet for years caused some of his letters to stop working, like the U and the I. The U is one I can't figure out, but the I makes sense as I'm an attention hog, and I'm sure I overused the I. I wonder if Alicia and Francis Scott are related to MX Keys. Over the years, there is a level of comfort and familiarity that comes with this much time jockeying the same old friend. For one, when I knock off the bump-ons, there is a nice little bit of sticky residue right where I need to put the next bump-on. Plus, the other keys are nice and soft and supple in their concave posture.
Oh.
What is amazing is that they used to be convex when we first met so many years ago. That is saying a lot, because most of us do not get concave as we age. Most of us tend to bulge in the middle as time goes by.
Yeah.
I worry now that Alicia is long past retirement age. I don't know if they make any like her anymore. This means I'll have to, shudder, go looking for keyboards in all the wrong places, like websites and online stores, without ever getting a chance to touch my new friend first. I guess I could shop around. Oh my gosh, Alicia just heard that. Comma, exclamation point, hashtag Bryan is not in control anymore. Alicia Keys, the keyboard, Indianapolis. From Bryan Clark.
I'm seriously worried about both of you right now. This is a keyboard fetish.
It sounds a little bit, there's a lot of love for Alicia
A
over
lot
there.
of love and loyalty.
yeah.
Well done, you. Stick
No,
together.
I must admit, I am a little bit flighty when it comes to my keyboards.
Yes.
Ooh, what kind of keys? Ooh,
yes.
mechanical. Ooh, cherry keys, black keys, red keys. Which
Poly
ones are
keyboard,
quiet?
Yes.
I know.
I've got to say, though, bump-ons on a keyboard. Don't do it. There. I know, controversial. But
I'm
don't
applauding
do it.
you, Bryan.
No. You don't need them.
Oh, stop it.
All right, sorry. Sometimes you do.
Yes, you do. No, I love my keyboard. I've got two MX Keys keyboards at the moment, mainly for familiarity, because one on the edit desk, if you like, and one on the broadcast desk, which is basically just a table that sits next to the other one.
Two desks.
Two desks, broadcast desk. That's what I like to call this. It's the MX Keys for familiarity, although I still haven't actually put the bump-ons on the
Good.
new MX Keys.
You don't need to.
And no, I'm always
'Cause
coming
you're
over here and I'm
familiar.
like, oh, goodness me, I can't find F5 quickly enough. Anyway, I have to tell you, I've been looking, and this may not surprise you, Bryan, but I have been looking for a new keyboard, or looking at new keyboards, because I do get bored. And I was looking at one the other day. Now, I think I've got this right. It's the Cherry G6800. I think that's right.
Oh, nice.
We're talking here. I want you to think back to the 90s. Some might go further and say even the 80s. And remember those big beige IBM type keyboards you would get? The big clacking keyboards that you'd have in offices?
Yes.
We're kind of making a comeback. I mean, I actually wish, if I'm honest, I'd kept the ones I had, because I had these keyboards and now they sell for hundreds of pounds.
And they'd still be working. I can
And
almost
still
guarantee
working
it.
fine, absolutely. And there was this one in particular was kind of interesting. I think you get it in variants of PC and Mac. Or what I did find quite amusing as well, because often these were generally PC keyboards. Not that it makes a huge difference. I mean, of course, it'll work on the Mac. But what I found quite interesting was the one I was looking at, this Cherry one, comes with a USB, obviously, but also with a PS2 adapter.
Oh, wow. That's going back. PS2 for your mouse and keyboard.
Yeah. Remember,
They were
was it
terrible
blue
to plug
and
in.
green, I think, if I remember rightly, the
Yeah.
plugs. And you had to make sure you plugged it in the right way round, otherwise it wouldn't work. And sometimes if you disconnected it by accident, you had
That
to
was it.
restart the whole computer to get it to work again.
Oh, those were the kids these days don't know they're born
Don't know
with
they're
their
born.
USBs and hot swapping.
I know.
I remember
plug in
COM
something in
ports,
and it
serial
works.
ports, RS-232s, IRQs. Oh, come on now.
And one bent pin and the whole thing was
That's it.
screwed.
Throw it out.
Yeah.
Keyboards. So, did you buy the Cherry keyboard?
No, I'm looking at that one. I'm looking
Forget
at
it.
Newfie. Nuphy. Newfie. This is where I say it. Newfie, and what's the other one? Oh, Keychron. I hear a lot of good things about Keychron as well. Key, Keychron. Lots of interesting reviews. What I'm looking for is, I have no idea what I'm looking for,
Yeah.
because I just never know when I'm happy. The one keyboard I really love that I have is from Matthias. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Oh,
Matis, and it is really nice. But the thing about it is, it's very loud. It's called the Matias Tactile keyboard.
Well,
but
there's your
it's
clue. It's loud.
incredibly tactile, and it's a beautiful keyboard to type on. But it is like typing on a keyboard inside a cathedral.
Does it?
With nobody else in there.
It's beautiful to type on. Is there much difference now? I find most keyboards are nice to type on. There are a few exceptions, obviously.
Look, this has become an industry. Our good friend Mark Aflalo and his son have just finished a project where they've been building their own keyboard, and they actually are customizing keyboards for people to sell. And the amount of customization people want these days is incredible.
Yeah.
I know a lot of gamers, a lot of gamers are into this, and it's very, this has become a whole industry. I think partly because the companies have told us this should be an industry, so it's become one. And, people get all excited about different types of keys. I've heard about Quiet Black. That's the new switch I've been hearing about from Cherry, which, very quiet.
Cherry Reds, Cherry Browns, there's all different ones out there.
Different ones. So I've not gone that far. I do a little bit of Googling to sort of say, okay, what's the quietest ones? Because you don't want a keyboard that's going to wake the house every time you type.
You love the mechanical ones, which
I love the mechanical, but I want a quiet mechanical. I even saw Satechi have got a new one out as well. I think it was called the SM1, I think. And they've got their own mechanical keyboard.
You're losing
now.
me, Stephen.
Doesn't have an numpad,
I'm tuning out.
I've got to have an numpad. I've got to have a numpad. So the Cherry one is sounding really nice to me right now. But then Matias is good as well.
Stop
I don't know.
Stop it.
Oh, Bryan, you've started me on a roll.
I've just bought another Logitech MX Keys S.
Well done.
For exactly the same reason as you just said, actually. Because I'm learning Jaws and Reaper at the same time. Switching between keyboards is just, it throws you off. So my keys always go to my fingers always go to the same place. I got two keyboards the same. Love it. Absolutely lovely.
Yeah. I just love those keyboards. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, so thank you for that, Bryan. Appreciate the comments. Kirby has been in touch as well.
Hey, Double Tappers. My name is Kirby, and though I haven't been a long-term listener to your show, as I only discovered it in the last year or so, I have come to love it and look forward to hearing new episodes every day.
Oh,
thank you.
I love, too, the banter between the two of you. You have just the right amount of banter and serious discussion to make the show engaging.
Well,
I have a lot to say on a lot of issues, but I will keep it brief here. I do think the cost of assistive tech does keep it out of a lot of people's price point.
Thank you.
We here in Australia have a scheme called the National Disability Insurance Scheme, or NDIS for short. And while it is good to have such a scheme, the amount of paperwork one has to go through is ridiculous, that you need assistance with everything to get anything done. Sure, there are those who can self-manage their plan, but you have to know the language thoroughly to do that. And let's be honest, who wants to learn bureaucrat speak anyway? So I don't bother. I do, however, have a wonderful support coordinator who sees to it that all my paperwork is done and is correct, and she keeps me up to date with what is going on. So I keep abreast of it that way. I seem to recall in an early episode from a few weeks ago that one of you were asking what time of day it would be in the Southern Hemisphere when you guys were making your show, or words to that effect. I'd meant to address that then, but life happened, or rather more specifically for me, it didn't. I just got slower dealing with the pernicious anemia that creeps up every quarter of the year. But anyway, while you, Stephen and Shaun, are making your show, we here in Australia and New Zealand are sleeping. So we get your episodes sometime when you guys are likely to be sleeping or thinking about sleeping, depending on whether you're a night owl or not. Anywho, I'd best get going now, as I feel Laura will have enough to read without my ramblings on top of everyone else's. Hope this finds you all well. Cheers, K and F. Felix, my guide dog, enjoys your shows as well.
Oh, hello, Felix.
Hello, Kirby. Hello, Felix. Oh, thank you so much. That was very nice.
That was really nice. So we're your morning show in Australia, I guess, unless you're listening to us in the middle of the night.
Is that right? Oh, yeah. No, yeah,
you're right. They get it in the middle of the night.
Good
morning.
morning.
You wake up, good morning, Australia. Well, lovely to have you with us, Kirby, and hello to all our lovely Australian listeners listening down under. Now, hang on, have I got this right? Because I always get mixed up with this. Is it now winter or is it summer in that part of the world?
It's coming on to summer
opposite,
as we're entering winter, yes.
I know New Zealand and Australia, they tend to, it's the opposite, right? So every week.
That's right.
Yeah, they get the warm weather. We're now in the cold season. Yeah, it's fun and games, isn't it?
It's too complicated. Can't understand it.
Far too complicated for me. But thank you, Kirby. Lovely to have you with us. Thank you so much. Shazad's been in touch.
Hello, Double Tap Gang. Once again, I enjoyed Shaun's demonstration on the Magsafe band.
Yes.
And so, Stephen, how is your dog Oni?
Oh, yes.
Please give us an update on his health.
Stop it.
Because I think he should have his own Mastodon account because he's becoming more successful now as a celebrity. Also, can you tell us more about what's going on with WhatsApp and when will WhatsApp be bringing Double Tap online soon? You need to tell us what is the latest of that.
Yes.
I hope you're all well. I always enjoy the banter and the fun stories that you bring every time on the show. And I always enjoy Double Tap immensely. You two are the most funniest people that I have heard in a long while.
Oh.
This is Shazad Bukhari from Birmingham. Bye.
You're too kind, Shazad. Please. I mean, I will. But, finish your thought.
Yeah.
No.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you so much, Shazad. That means a lot. Yes, so as for WhatsApp, look, I'm going to let you in a little secret. This is all my fault, basically. WhatsApp is functional. We had some issues with getting the account working, but we've got that resolved. We will be rolling it out as of, wait for it. You ready for this? Hang on. There it is.
Breaking news.
Monday. WhatsApp will come on Monday. And if it doesn't come on Monday, it'll definitely be Tuesday.
Is that a cast iron double tap guarantee?
That is no, hang on. That's a double tap guarantee. You can decide for yourself whether it's worth the paper it's not written on. Thank you, Shazad. One final one from Tom.
About the plant.
Oh, yeah.
Robert Plant, or Bob for short, is fun. Though that immediately conjures for me the iconic music video for Addicted to Love with the striking female dancers.
Ooh.
So I imagine a sting that activates the iconic bit of that song that causes Bob to dance in some manner, and there are 3 additional plants that dance in a synchronised manner, all this taking place behind Stephen. For an additional touch, they would all have little long white canes amidst their greenery. Tom.
Thank you, Tom. The minds of our audience. I think I'm turning you all into the mind of Stephen Scott. I really think there's some kind of mental persuasion going on out there.
Can AI make that happen?
I don't think we need it. I think it's happening all by itself. Whether AI is involved or not, I don't know. Anyway, listen, if you want to get involved, here's how.
Call the Double Tappers now, 1-877-803-4567, or email us, feedback@doubletaponair.com.
Now, look, we love to talk about new tech and we love to get hands-on, but of course, it's always challenging, isn't it, Shaun? Where do you go to find the latest innovations in tech when you're blind? You can't exactly pop down to Best Buy, can you?
Well, you can all the time, but yes, you'll be hard-pushed to find any accessible tech down there. And also, where do these ideas come from? Where do these innovations come from?
Well, that's another side of this, right? And there are loads of people out there that we have heard about, that we have talked about on the show, who are creating innovative products. But again, where do you get a chance to see them? Well, fortunately for us, Kevin Chao, who is with us now. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, how's it going?
You've been at the VISTA Center Ignite Accessibility Entrepreneur Pitch Competition in San Jose, California. Did I get that right?
You got it exactly right. It was very exciting and awesome.
Thank you.
Not you getting the title right.
I
mean,
right,
the event was exciting and awesome. Stephen Scott.
Both.
Okay. Well, look, let's talk about it. So, tell us first off about this event. What was it all about?
So they got 14 different entrepreneurs who are trying to innovate in the accessibility space, specifically for people who are blind and low vision, to disrupt the kind of space and come with a new, big and exciting thing that's going to be impactful and useful for us.
Well, that sounds pretty cool. And it's one of those things, I guess, when you go along, do you expect to see great innovation, or do you expect to see ideas that perhaps AI can already or will do next week?
Well, so there was a fair amount of kind of AI, kind of remote driving things, and the kind of definitely buzz of AI stuff was there. I mean, things like OCR and text recognition stuff that we might be familiar with from seeing AI and other similar apps, but there was some innovation as well, which was exciting.
Yeah. And let's talk about some of that. So let's kick off with the Lighthouse Tech organization that have been showcasing for a while now and talking for a while now about their project, which I think is called, if I'm right in saying, LTHO1, which is a pair of wearable glasses. That is a very catchy title, Kevin.
Yes, it just rolls off your tongue.
Doesn't it just? Did you get a chance to try these, right?
I was hoping to. They weren't there physically. They were connected virtually, remotely. I actually had an interesting experience where I was walking from the exhibit hall to like the bathroom area and ran to the corner of a door, and I was hoping to. My cane missed the bottom of the door somehow, and it hit my left forehead. I was hoping to try it out, but it's supposed to be perfect for that situation of giving you information about head level or shoulder level obstacles, and kind of have this haptics or different vibration patterns on the glasses to alert you to things like that. But they weren't there to try out, but they said they'll be there in CSUN in March of next year to have prototypes and demos to try out.
So what technology are these using? Are these sonar?
Yeah, a mix of sonar, LiDAR, kind of a bit of things that we're familiar with from autonomous vehicles, and things that we have in, to detect things like that.
That's interesting. Yeah, because we actually spoke to Nathan Deutsch, who's the CEO and the innovation lead at Lighthouse Tech, and he talked to us back in January, I think it would have been, around about CES time. And we were talking to him about this and trying to get a sense of where this project was going, because it had been ongoing for a while. Let's hear what he had to say about the project at that point in January earlier this year.
I have, this is a 3D printed prototype again, but we've made some improvements, mainly on the internals and the interactivity. The glasses themselves have sort of remained as is. One thing that we've sort of dropped for now is so what we're doing is detecting obstacles in front of the user. The sensors can go quite far, but we'll dynamically adjust depending on what people need. One thing that people have told us is that they really want all of this sort of in a compact, fashionable, and contained product. So we're not focusing right now on putting vibrating receptors or other things elsewhere on the body. We're just really doing left-right field and left-right vibration, and the vibration is going to be on the temple itself. And just when I say vibration, if you think of the sort of the button that you tap on your iPhone, you get that clicking sensation. That's really what we're going for, because having something vibrate on your head, let's say our 50-odd testers that we talked to in the last year didn't exactly appreciate that. But what we've come up with is a system where we have basically sort of one of those iPhone type feelings, that clicky feeling in contact with your head behind the ear, in a place where you can sort of feel what's coming your way, and that click increases in frequency then at a threshold where you're approaching something dangerous. We have a couple of quick R&D cycles left, just in terms of putting the prototype together. And then we're going to be available in the summer. It's going to be a smallish production run, but we'll start to sell right away. We're based in Switzerland, so we're going to start to do pre-sales before the summer in our local area. So for us, it's Switzerland, Italy, mostly those countries, Germany, France as well. But that doesn't mean we haven't been over in North America as well. So we're expecting to roll out there shortly after. I can't give you an exact date, but because it will depend on the rollout and any kind of problems we run into with our first adopters in Europe. But I would say expect us here in late 2024 or early 2025.
So a really interesting idea, Kevin. I mean, more wearables sounds good. Although these are not, and we have to be clear about this, these are not the kind of smart glasses that everyone's getting excited about today, as in the Meta Ray-Bans that I'm wearing right now. I don't know, Shaun, if you're wearing yours today.
No, not today.
Everyone's talking about Meta Ray-Ban, and we're talking about cameras and audio and microphones in our glasses, but that's not what these are, right?
No, they're more intended to, if people are familiar with things like the mini guide or the buzz clip, this is just a wearable form factor of those.
You see, coming back to what you said on the intro to this, Stephen, about AI is there anything other that AI can't do here? This technology we've seen before, but it's all about how they package up existing technologies, right? It's not necessarily about someone coming up with a brand new way to do things. It's about people packaging up already existing technology, such as sonar or LiDAR or whatever it may be, in a new way, or a way that hasn't been done before, or a way that's really convenient for us. That's why we're so excited about wearables, so we don't have to hold the phone in front of us all the time. But that innovation, it's really cool. We've seen these sonar glasses before, done in different ways. So we've seen the Sunu band before. But, maybe this is the one that actually really works.
Yeah, well, what's your take on this, Kevin? I mean, we're seeing so many wearables come along, and we've had people write into us here at Double Tap saying, can we think beyond the glasses? Can we think about other methods of getting information, perhaps, or being able to use navigation? We saw a little bit, I think, of a hint of this at the Meta Connect event this year when they introduced this neural wristband, which, if you ask Shaun to say that, is highly amusing. But it's a really it's a really interesting idea, right? Because essentially it gives you another way to control devices, and potentially it could inversely give you information in return. Do you think glasses is the right way to go about this for the blind community?
It's interesting that there are a lot of eyeglasses wearable type things, and if blind people aren't wearing eyeglasses or sunglasses already, then it's kind of something they have to add on. And I guess it'd be great to see if we can have things be more invisible or transparent, or kind of more ambient computing. And I'm sure that'd kind of be the next thing.
Now, I remember we got an email, Shaun, from a listener, Tom. He told us about a Giga, which
that's right.
I think I'm pronouncing that right.
Yes.
Remind us again, Shaun, what do we know about a Giga?
A Giga is a startup company that are basically providing assistance through WhatsApp on the Meta glasses. So much like Aira have started to do, Aira's introduced this in beta form at the moment. You can sign up through the Aira Explorer app. So you, instead of calling Aira directly, you do it through a WhatsApp call. Well, this new startup company are doing exactly the same thing, using WhatsApp to give assistance through a video call using your Meta glasses.
Now, they were also there at that event you were at, Kevin. So did you get a chance to play with those or talk to those guys?
Yeah, they were there in person, both the CEO and CTO, and they had a prototype demo to try out, and they had it hooked up with their AI to describe a scene. So I was able to say, hello, a Giga, describe the scene. And I was able to call a volunteer through Be My Eyes. And I was just able to say, hello, Giga, call Be My Eyes. The glasses are interesting in that they're more of a wraparound. So they would more securely stay on one's head and not accidentally kind of slip off or fall off. It kind of wrapped around the back of your head more securely. And the 2 bit of feedback that I provided them was I had to say the hello Giga a couple times to kind of get it to hear me, but it could have also been the loud exhibit hall we were in. And it's a bit harder to hear the volunteer, but again, the loud environment. And it was supposed to be working with Aira. Couldn't quite get that working. But their kind of biggest thing is to be a platform to work with any apps or tools.
So hang on. So the idea I got was that these were working, or this service was working on the Meta Ray-Bans. That was the idea I was getting. But what you're talking about is actually a different pair of glasses entirely. This is their own product.
Right. So it's their own product, and they're marketing, or they're saying it's supposed to be somewhere between $500 and $1,000.
Okay.
Ooh, this is interesting because I've been told they are working on the Meta Ray-Bans at the moment. I haven't got hands-on with them. We're hoping to talk with the company soon. So that's a very interesting point of view. I mean, do you produce your own hardware and go with that and set up that platform that we've talked about before, right? Why can't we have a pair of glasses that can run all this software, Seeing AI, Envision, Aira, Be My Eyes on their own? We're just waiting for that hardware to come into existence. Or do the companies concentrate on the software and go with the mainstream devices such as the Meta Ray-Bans and get their software to work with that?
But hang on, can't we get a middle ground on this? I mean, why can't we just have a pair of glasses that either connect via USB-C or whatever, that can actually just be a camera and a microphone and a pair of speakers for your face? Why can't we just have that so it connects to any app? It doesn't need to be integrated into the glasses. it can just be a conduit. The camera can be on the glasses rather than be on the phone. Is that not possible? Is that why it's not being done?
Well, I think
What's going on
that's down to the manufacturers. We're talking Google, we're talking Apple here, aren't we? Apple are locking out any third-party cameras from the OS, that they don't have access. Otherwise, you could simply choose your camera, right? When you open Seeing AI, which camera do you want to use? The one that's built into whatever generic glasses you've got, or the one built into your iPhone?
I mean,
that isn't available.
I've got to say, I mean, it does feel like, we're going to be spending our money on endless pairs of glasses to do different things. It's going to be like, hang on, I want to walk to the shop, and so I'm going to, have to put on my LTH01s, and then I have to throw them off so I can stick on my Metas, so I can ask Be My AI what I think about something, or get a Be My Eyes call, or, chuck off those and get my Giga glasses on. I feel that my grandmother used to sit with umpteen pairs of glasses for various purposes through her life.
And there are blind people out there who are innovators and kind of are like trying out all these different things that I know who have all, like you're saying, 5, 6 different pairs of smart glasses and stuff, and switch between them depending on the different context they're trying to get access to.
Do you think that's feasible? Do you think that's long term? That's a feasible approach for companies to make? I mean, surely, like we're saying, I'm not suggesting one company should rule them all, but maybe one company should rule them all.
I don't think it's feasible, especially given how much of a expensive they are, and how the learning curve for some of them, and viability of how the different ways they connect and technical complexity of them. I mean, ideally there'd be 1 or 2 that people can pick from, depending on features, price point, convenience.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, the question is, how good was the experience that you did get? I mean, okay, aside the, summoning the assistant, which I guess, like you say, in a noisy environment can be challenging anyway.
Forgivable, yes.
Absolutely. But what about the latency? Because that's always the thing, isn't it? How fast do you get the responses? How good were the responses?
The scene description was pretty good. It describes kind of 2 people and read off like their name tag, and it described the stuff on the table. And then the Be My Eyes volunteer, they were able to see pretty well, and they were able to describe things pretty quickly as I was kind of turning and walking around in the exhibit hall. So latency was pretty low.
Was that done through WhatsApp? Do you know? Was it sort of invisible and all done in the background, or did you know it was done through a WhatsApp call to a volunteer?
It seemed pretty invisible and transparent. I don't think it was through a WhatsApp, because I was just able to talk to it and get Be My Eyes volunteer without having to like open up WhatsApp or click on the link or anything like that. It just kind of happened in the background.
That's very cool. We're going to have to talk to this company, because there's so many different avenues they seem to be covering here.
Well, they seem to want to talk to us, which is good. So we are going to be speaking to them soon, for no doubt at all. I want to talk about some other things that you saw. Tell us about Equivalent.
So Equivalent is more of a digital accessibility tool that's intended to take the SVG format and make it smart. They're initially focused on accessibility compliance for like visual accessibility things. I did ask about screen readers and tactile graphics, and they found out that the Graffiti Plus supports SVG, so there's a potential of smart SVGs showing up in the tactile graphics form there.
Okay, so can I be the person who asks the question, what do you mean by all that?
I
don't understand much of that, sorry.
So there's these different file formats for images, like JPEG, PNG, and so SVG stands for Scalable Vector Graphics. It's just basically images that can kind of morph and shift and kind of adapt and respond to kind of things. So they're just making it so these things also respond to accessibility settings and features as well, kind of low vision things, blindness features.
Stephen was correct in asking that question, because lots of people won't know those terms. But I mean, SVGs are used so wide and far in the business sector. It's just clip art, right? That's a basic form of SVG. Scaling it up and down, making it whatever size you need. Clip art in any word processor usually is SVG. So making this accessible is actually really important.
Kind of fascinates me how much work is going into making images more accessible to us as blind people, right, Kevin? I mean, I must admit, even this time last year, I wasn't really caring even about the pictures I was taking myself.
It's amazing. I mean, especially with all the image description apps, and then even there's a pretty cool app that I've been playing around with recently that's been out for a few months called PixieBot that can do video descriptions of things. Like I didn't think I care about taking photos. Now I'm taking videos all the time and having those things described.
Yes.
I am smiling, but only because, Kevin, you've fallen into the same trap I did, which you can always tell a screen reader user who uses that app because its official name is PickyBot, but every screen reader calls it PixieBot. It's so hilarious. You can tell a screen reader user. It's like, if someone says PixieBot, you're on our team.
Yes.
That's how it works.
You're one of us.
That's right. Okay, so let's talk about Ben Vision, because these are company names or products I've not heard of. So this is fascinating to learn about these. And of course, many of them, as we know, are startups. What is Ben Vision?
It's a thing where it's supposed to map out an indoor venue and provide you information through musical tones or kind of what things sound like.
Okay.
So they gave the example, if you mapped out a space and if you have, let's say, a water bottle on a table, you'll hear the sound of like water dripping or flowing. Or if you hear like a vending machine coming up from a specific area, you'll kind of that would make a vending machine sound. The idea is intended to be more kind of natural and kind of invisible as opposed to it talking to you or kind of it being through speech or braille.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so it's like Good Maps then, but it's using audio cues rather than spoken words.
Exactly.
We've always been looking for the best way to feed information back, right? Technology has been getting better and better and digitizing the world. But how do you feed that back to us that's not, we've all been out with so many different apps on. I've had Soundscape on and Blind Square on and turn-by-turn GPS navigation on. And it's just a bit overwhelming sometimes, right? Sometimes you want to dial it down, but it's a real fine balance to get. That's not a bad idea, is it? Turn down the actual spoken word and just have audio cues.
I love the idea of, all the different stores having their own sound. That's such a brilliant idea, like Apple Store. Crunch, ka-ching! Obviously. Ka-ching, yeah, that could be one. I'm guessing a public restroom would be sound of a flushing...
Let's move on.
Restroom, yeah. Just guessing. That's a cool idea, actually. That's cool. Did you get to try that, or was that sort of just talked about at that stage?
It was more talked about. They were connected virtually through a laptop. It was kind of hard to hear them. The thing I did try out, they have an app called Speakaboo.
Oh, I've heard of this. Now, is this from Envision?
Yeah, it's from Ben Vision.
BenVision. Oh, I see. Right, okay, because I think, Shaun, you and I thought this was an Envision product.
Another screen reader faux pas there. I thought it was from Envision. I actually installed it just the other day, yeah.
Yeah.
So what is that? Tell us what that is.
Speakaboo is kind of similar. It does image descriptions to similar to apps we might be familiar with, like Be My AI, but there's two functions to it. You can either double tap anywhere on the screen to take a picture, so they've really simplified the user interface, and then it'll provide a instant description, or you can double tap and hold and speak to it and ask it about context or something specific, and it'll respond verbally with a description. I think the two things that make this different is that it's just those are the two things it does. It's pretty simple, and it comes back with responses pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it's the beauty of the interface, like you say, double tap and hold, and that's basically it. I haven't really played with it too much. I did take a picture and had a description, but I haven't done any follow-up questions so to test out that really and drill down into it. But it's an interesting one.
That's my Halloween app this year. Speakaboo. I like it. That's going to be the one I'll use at Halloween. Now, there's one here, and forgive me if this is wrong. I thought you spelled this Orion, or was it Orion? What was the? This was a company as well, on a startup on display.
Yeah, Orion. It's an app available that's on the App Store that you can get. It's a free app and it's pretty cool. It does. In addition to obstacle and text recognition, it can also find specific things or kind of filter. Let's say you're sorting through your mail and you're looking for stuff that's specifically addressed to Steven or Shaun. You can have it find that specific text and let you know about it. And then also if you have personal objects that aren't commonly known, you can add that. It'll walk you through a process of scanning the different sides and angles of it.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot because I think this is the kind of next stage, isn't it? Where instead of it giving you lots of information, if you can seek out exactly what you're looking for, and parcels, letters, I mean, we're coming up to holiday time, right? You know, we all know what it's
Yes.
like in our homes when the Amazon parcels mount up and you're trying to work out whose is whose and don't open mine and all this. So, you know, it's that kind of thing would be absolutely fantastic. That's a great idea.
I have this app installed, and I was a little bit dismissive of it, but my friends were absolutely raving about it. So, this is great. You got to try it out. Okay. So I installed it. I haven't really opened it yet because I was thinking it's, you know, like seeing AI find my object. You know, we've seen these before, but actually someone else told me that about tell it what you're looking for and it will tell you when it sees it. And they were raving about how well it worked. And this seems like a new, again, sort of an old technology, but a new package for it. I'm definitely going to check this one out.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And these, you're downloading that, obviously, Kevin. These apps are out there now. So, I mean, we call these companies startups, but they're out there. This isn't prototype coming soon, right? I mean, maybe the Lighthouse Tech LTH-01s are still in that stage, but, you know, most of the tech we're talking about here is available.
Right, specifically these apps, Peekaboo and Orion, they're available now.
Now, I want to move on to one that you saw because we know this company rather well. We spoke to them here at Double Tap. We spoke in particular to Deval Patel, the founder of this company called Lotus. I'll let him explain a little bit about the company and how this product came to be.
My name is Deval Patel. I'm the founder and CEO of Lotus, formerly managed a division at Apple. So the story really starts with me. I was born with twisted knees. And over the years, I've been on and off crutches myself. And one night, a few years ago, I got into bed, having left the lights on accidentally. But I was too tired to get out of bed, hop onto my crutches, hobble 10 feet, turn off the light, hobble back 10 feet, and get back into bed. So I just slept with the lights on the entire night. And woke up in the morning, not having slept well, thinking, if someone like me, I'm an engineer, I used to manage a division at Apple for iPhone, Watch, and AirPods. I've worked at the company that makes the wall switches. I've worked at Lutron. I have 37 patents. You know, if an electrical engineer like me doesn't even have smart home technology in their own home, who does? And that was the genesis. That's how I started digging. Let's back up. Why don't we start with kind of the state of the art today, right? So let's say you wanted to actually use Alexa to control your lights. For instance, like you mentioned, you're in your own home. Well, what's the first step? Well, the first step is you need to rewire your wall switches to connect to the internet, to be able to talk to Alexa, right? That's step number one. Then you have to put a smart, and that, by the way, that's everywhere in your home. So wherever you want smart home tech, you have to rewire everywhere. That's step one. Step two, wherever you've rewired your wall switches, now you have to put a smart speaker in every room of the house to control the switches you just rewired. That's step two. And by the way, step one is 11 hours or $2,000. Just to rewire your home. Okay, so step one, rewire. Step two, put speakers in every room. Step three, if you somehow got through the first two hurdles, you have to now pair every switch one by one through another app. And if you lose power, by the way, you lose all the pairing, so you have to start from scratch all over again. And this is best case. Everything I just described is best case if you own the house. If you're renting an apartment, there's no solution. If you're traveling for work or for pleasure, there's no solution. Like, what do you do in a hotel? You can't take your smart home with you. So it affects everyone, but it disproportionately affects people like me. About 27 million people, at least here in the US, with limited mobility. We're talking veteran soldiers, older adults, and disabled persons. So to solve that problem, we ended up creating Lotus. So Lotus is a wearable ring that controls objects at home by pointing. But unlike, say, Alexa, there's no apps, no rewiring, and no internet. So step number one, you put on the ring. There's a single button that I'm using on the camera here, single button, and all you do is push the button. I'll explain what it does in a second. So putting on the ring once eliminates the need to have a smart speaker in every room of your home because the ring stays on you and goes with you wherever you go. So that's step one. Step two, for any existing wall switch, and we haven't made any changes. This is a regular wall switch. And by the way, there are other types of wall switches too. I have another prototype here as an example. For any existing wall switch, you can attach the second half, which is a Lotus switch cover, and it attaches on just using magnets. So there's no rewiring. There's 2 magnets on the back, and it can just go on top of any existing wall switch. Now you can continue using the wall switch manually as well. So you can walk up to it and use it like a regular wall switch. Just press on the front surface. But the most important part, step 3, all you do is point and click. And using infrared, just like your TV remote, eliminates the need for any apps or smartphones or internet. Basically, we let you go from home to smart home in seconds, and you can take any of this with you wherever you go.
That's Deval Patel, the founder of Lotus, a very interesting company. Did you get a chance to play with these switches? Because they sound pretty cool.
Yeah, they had a hands-on demo. I was able to put on one of the rings and check out the different switches, and it was pretty simple. There's a button on the ring that you press, and you can feel it actually getting depressed, and then you can hear the light switches getting toggled on or off, and pretty simple and intuitive. You just kind of point and click.
Point and click. It doesn't get any easier than that. And the fact of the setup is easy as well. We were talking about, setting up smart homes and how difficult it actually is when it doesn't need to be that complicated. Downloading different apps for different manufacturers or different smart devices. And this just does away with all of that.
That's the real beauty of this whole thing, that it just uses infrared, and the way you install it is it's a magnetic cover that goes over your existing light switch, and doesn't require any app, any setup, or any configuration of any kind, and it can work with infinite number of switches and infinite number of rings. So if, let's say, you guys end up getting them, and you go to each other's houses, you can control each other's light switches without having to set anything up.
I hate that.
I'm going to go around to Shaun's house and turn all his lights on and then leave. No, that sounds cool. And obviously, there's a couple of things come to mind here. One is that there are different sizes of light switches in different parts of the world. Like, I think in the US, they're fairly rectangular, or in the UK, they're fairly square. So I'm guessing different designs will come for different territories. And also beyond the light switches themselves. I mean, are they going to develop other products?
They're starting with light switches, but I think they didn't really go into like future plans or what other things they hope to control, but they definitely see this being more of an ecosystem or be able to control kind of anything and everything.
Now, you saw lots of products, and before we move on to your final one, and I mentioned the final one only because, it's the last one on the list, but also because I know you loved it. Anything else you want to mention before that? Any other products you saw? Anything else? And you did get a chance to sit in a car that could potentially drive itself, but didn't go anywhere. Is that right?
So there's Quibus. It was supposed to be an interesting tech that I guess supposed to adapt any car in under an hour and make it remote controlled by a driver somewhere else remotely. And I was pretty excited, and I thought we'd be able to go for a test drive, but they were more talking about it, and they had it connected to a static steering wheel, which was interesting. But
no, it wasn't. Come on, let's be honest. It wasn't
drive.
interesting at all.
No, it doesn't sound very interesting. It sounds like when you're 5 and your mum gives you a plastic steering wheel in the back and says, "Yes, you're driving the car now, Stephen. Yes."
It's an interesting concept, though, although you weren't able to try it out. Would you?
Right.
Is that better than the self-driving car? Would you trust someone else to remote control drive your car around?
I personally am more of a fan of Waymo. I love Waymo, the autonomous vehicle,
me too.
the self-driving. Yeah.
I'd rather a robot drove my car than a teenager who's probably on Instagram doing something else while my car is heading 70 miles an hour towards a wall.
Candy crushing, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Car crushing is the game they're playing, and they're using me as some kind of fodder for it. Yeah, I must admit that the idea is interesting. I found that if I was years ago in a remote control car, it was a Tesla. I don't believe it was remote control as in what you're talking about, but the car did have some kind of functionality on the key fob that comes with the car. There was a summon button, and if you were, you parked your car somewhere, and this is for, I guess, at the moment when a lot of these cars are not able to be driving fully autonomously in most parts of the world, there are elements of autonomy they can use, and one was a summon button. You could press the button and the car would come to you, stop, and then it would open the doors and let you in. And I thought that was pretty cool, but that was the most I ever saw, and it sounded a little bit like that, although all you got was a plastic steering wheel and hope.
Yes. Yes.
Interesting idea. Okay, so let's talk about your product that you are interested in. I've got to say, I am too. I read about this as a startup company. I couldn't believe you got a chance to see it. I don't think you could believe it either. But Pocket Dot, tell us about Pocket Dot.
Yeah, this was probably the most interesting thing. It was like a hidden gem in kind of everything because it wasn't listed as one of the vendors that was going to be there. But it's an 8-cell braille display with the standard 6-dot and internal backspace and spacebar keys, USB-C port, and the best part is Magsafe onto the back of your iPhone. So it's one of the coolest Magsafe accessories I think out there, personally, for blind people. And it's supposed to connect to Braille HID through Bluetooth. It was more of a prototype. They didn't have working software on it, so I wasn't able to see it live in action, but I was able to feel it and see how it connected. And it's no thicker than an iPhone, so I was able to slip it in my pocket to feel kind of how it felt, and it was pretty comfortable.
Now, are you a Braille user?
Yes. I use different Braille displays.
So, okay, you could answer this question then. How usable is a small Braille cell count like that? And you say it was 8?
I mean, you're not going to be reading the next full-on story or novel with it, but for notifications or kind of quick messages and stuff like that, or just getting the quick spelling of particular things, I think it's pretty useful, because I find even with the 20-cell Braille displays, they're intended to be more mobile and portable, but still a little too big for me to kind of carry around with me on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, and quite thick as well, right? A lot of these Braille displays, they are quite thick. Even, the Mantis I love is it's portable, but
it's a chunky monkey.
Yeah, it's a chunky monkey. That is absolutely right. Is that the category we're going to use now for these? Excellent. I like it. I've also been called that a few times, I must admit, by my wife. Okay, so this is an interesting idea. MagSafe as well. I've got to say, you're so right. I love a cool MagSafe accessory. This is probably the best one I've heard of. Kind of sounds like something Hable could come up with.
Yes.
Not saying they should, but if they did, that would be kind of cool. Any idea of a price on the Pocket Dot? Have they mentioned a price?
$250.
Oh wow! Okay,
really?
That's hang on. That's very interesting. Actually, that's right in there with the Hable, right?
You're not saying $2,050, right? That's
$250.
$250. That's really impressive.
And they're looking for beta testers. There's a link that you can sign up. I signed up.
Yeah, we should. I think I'll get myself on that. That's very interesting. So all in all, a good day out, right?
Oh yeah, lovely. It was an amazing experience, and I don't know if we left this out, but the folks who won the pitch competition was Get Lotus, the folks with the ring and switches.
Well, that's fantastic, and I think rightly so. I mean, what a fantastic group of people, and I think all of them are, to be honest. I think anybody who's innovating in this space today, despite all the technical challenges, and I think what I'm getting a sense of is there's a consideration as well on price. It's not a case of everything's going to be $5,000 onwards. Everything seems to be coming in app form, which allows you to do more using existing technology that people already have. But then even the Pocket Dot, Braille display, 8-cell, $250. That's very interesting.
It is.
Very interesting.
Definitely. And I guess I also pre-ordered the set of the Get Lotus one ring and a set of 3 switches. And I should be getting that by December, so I'm excited about that.
Well, we look forward to the demo, Kevin.
Yes, thank you very much.
I mean, look, the thing about the Lotus is the simplicity of it, right? Because you have this, do they come sort of pre-paired, so the ring is already paired to the switch?
I don't think there's any pairing required. They're just infrared and they just work.
Of course, it's infrared, right? So it's just there.
Yep.
So you can have multiple switches around the home, and and basically it's the ring that's just sending out the signal to that one you're in front of.
Yes.
So one ring equals maybe 5 switches around the home, and of course you can take those around. But you could even just pick it up and take it with you if you wanted as well.
And that's the beauty of it. If you're a renter, or if you're staying in different hotels, or if you're traveling, stuff like that, they're portable. You can take them with you.
Yeah,
that's really clever, isn't it?
And you're so right, because a lot of us forget that a lot of people rent their homes. They may not be able to install this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Without getting approval. And, perhaps the homeowner doesn't want that to be installed in the home for whatever reason. So yeah, that's a really interesting idea. I think with this, and then potentially going down the route with outlets, and goodness, there's lots of things you could use this for. A very, very cool idea.
But does your lights keep turning on and off every time you change the TV channel? I mean, it's going to have to be tuned very specifically just for that ring.
Yes, because it's 1986, Shaun. That's right.
All right, sorry.
Kevin Chao, it's been wonderful talking to you. Thank you for sending us the video as well, the videos you've sent, because that's been really useful to allow our YouTube audience to get a sense of what you've seen while you were there. Did you do that on your Meta Ray-Bans, as a matter of interest?
Yes, of course. I took
Yes, of course. Yeah, of course I did. Yeah.
They are the best. It's amazing using essentially your head as a tripod, and be able to capture great videos and photos. But yeah, they were captured with the Meta Ray-Bans.
Isn't that the fascinating thing about those, that they're actually enabling us to make video as well? You know, and these are things that, again, we would not be able to do as easily. I mean, just for anybody taking video, you know, they have to have one hand in use. And of course, if you've got a cane or a guide dog, well, that's it. You can't do anything. Whereas if you can just literally, you know, hold in that capture button for a couple of seconds and suddenly you're recording for 3 minutes, if you change your settings, always remember, check your settings, then you can do that. It's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, thank you for that, Kevin. Really appreciate it. Come back soon. I'd love to hear more about these Lotus smart switches. Everyone's very interested in these.
I will let you know when I get them. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Shaun.
Thanks, Kevin.
And that's it for today. Thank you to Kevin. Thank you to all of you for your emails and feedback. Keep them coming as well. We'll catch you for the Friday episode tomorrow, because that's the day after today. Thank you, Shaun.
Thank you, Stephen.